Hi, I'm West, and I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about Game 71 of the regular season. Astros win 8-2 over the Chicago WhiteSox. I don't know what to say. I thought it was going to be a miracle if we could split the series. I honestly thought they were going to easily take it, and the Astros instead wiped the floor with them in 4 straight games. A sweep. So now it's been a 2-game sweep of the Rangers and a 4-game sweep of the White Sox, which, I mean, they've won 7 straight. The only one of this series against the White Sox that wasn't convincing was the walk-off, which is impressive because it was a walk-off in a super close game where the Astros showed an incredible amount of resilience and found a way to win the game. It's fantastic what they're doing right now. It's incredible. First off, happy Father's Day to everyone. I wanted to mention that before I get the video going. So, on to the first inning, right? Altuve doubles, McCormick grounds one to third, and just another horrible defensive play by the White Sox. It felt like they've had like 4 or 5 of them just this series alone. It's just been a comic of errors for the Chicago White Sox, and there was another one. Bad defensive play, he's safe at first, and Altuve's over to third, right? Next batter was Brantley. He strikes out. Correa draws a walk. Jordan should have walked. It was ball 4. It was not particularly close to the zone, but because things happen, it's called a strike. It shouldn't have been. It wasn't a strike, but he strikes out. Then the next batter, Abraham Toro, puts one in a perfect spot where Tim Anderson, granted, credit to him for making a nice play to even get to the ball, but he can't get Toro, so it's 1-0. It should have been 2-0, but, life happens. And then after that, Taylor Jones lines out, and I will talk more about Toro in a bit. To the second baseman, and he just kind of steps on the bag. In the top of the second, the White Sox respond, a 2-run home run by, I believe it was Jake Lamb, scoring Yasmani Grandal, made it 2-0, and that was the only runs Lance McCullers would give up. He was fantastic today. 6 innings of 2-run baseball, I'm not going to complain about at all. He was great. In the third, the Astros continue to make people pay for things. Chas McCormick strikes out, Brantley walks, Correa singles, and this horrible, horrible defensive play where Correa hits one to the outfield, right? Brantley goes first to third. It's going to be a close play at third. Throws over to there. They notice that Correa is getting a little, off of first. So they throw back. They catch him totally dead to rights in a rundown. Completely dead to rights. And Correa, credit to Correa, right, for forcing the rundown to take as long, which eventually led to the error by probably Tim Anderson, I think is who they would have charged it for. That's who I would have put it on, who just can't catch a ball. Correa just walks around him pretty much and goes over to second. And again, these are horrible errors that a team like the White Sox, I didn't think would be making in games like this that were so important against a team like the Astros. And they did. It was just horrid. They allow him to reach first. Jordan, with a few nice takes, takes the ball out of the zone, just bloops it into, I believe it was left center, goes the other way with it. That scores both of them. It's 3-2 at that point. Toro singles again. He had 4 hits today, which is insane. Taylor Jones then would double to score Jordan, which made it 4-2. Maldonado popped one out, which is okay at this point because then Straw would walk. Altuve would walk with the bases loaded to make it 5-2. McCormick would draw a bases loaded walk to make it 6-2, and Brantley would ground out. But at that point, I was honestly happy that he grounded out for the lone reason of I was just starting to feel genuinely sad seeing the Astros knock Dallas Keuchel around as much as they did. And I'm like, a grand slam would be funny to put him up by 10 after 3 innings. But I just didn't want it. I know it makes me sound like a bad Astros fan because I should want our team to continue to blow up another team, but I just couldn't hope for it. I was just feeling too much like, no, but it's Dallas. You can't hurt Dallas Keuchel. He would get charged with 6 runs today, and I don't know if you heard it on the broadcast, but this was the shortest outing he has ever had in Minute Maid Park. In all of his career as an Astro, he never got shelled this quickly, this early. Career or season high, I believe, 6 runs in 2 2/3, and they have now completely shelled 2 starters back-to-back, one who was leading the American League in earned run average, Lance Lynn, and now completely shelled Dallas Keuchel within 3 innings, which was kind of sad, if I'm being completely honest with you. That happened in the 4th. The White Sox show that not only are they bad at defense, they're also not great with base running. They get caught in a really weird double play where the runner should have just kept running, but instead he like ducked down to get away from the tag. But the thing is, you shouldn't have done that because like you know you're not going to be able to get up into second that quickly. So just take the tag and let it go. If he hadn't done that, like if he would have just kept running about, they probably wouldn't have turned two. They'd maybe only get him out. But instead, because the White Sox just seemingly don't know what they're doing this series, another weird double play. Correa would then homer in the bottom half of that inning, and good Lord, this team is just incredible. Fifth inning, hey look, another error by the White Sox. McCormick reaches first on this horrible pop-up that should have ended the inning, by all rights. It should have ended the inning. Like, that should have been it. It should have been done. But instead, they drop it because White Sox gonna White Sox. Maldonado gets over to third. Also, props to him for continuing to move and not just, stopping at second and being like, oh, it's a pop-out. Which I've been critical of Maldonado a lot this year, but I'm actually going to, say something nice about him. I thought that was some good base running to keep on moving there. And they steal a run because then Brantley singles and they score. It's 8-2. Correa would then walk, and Yordan would line one right off the pitcher's foot into the second baseman's hand, which was kind of frustrating at that point because that could have given us more runs because at that point, we won 8-2. We swept the series. We won 7 straight. I don't need to complain and nitpick about that. It's fine. And the last note that I really have was that in the 7th inning, Carlos Correa with a crazy good play over between first or second and third. Just an unreal play to get the glove on the ball and throw off, and a marvelous pick by Taylor Jones to make a fantastic defensive play. Because even though it's not Yuli Gurriel making great picks, we still have players we have depth that can just make picks like that, apparently. Also, Correa had a great day today, so perhaps we should change his name to Perea instead of Correa. That is so horribly corny that I almost feel bad saying it. Anyway, that was it. The Astros, they keep on rolling. They just keep on trucking. 7 straight wins. They can't be stopped, seemingly. Pitching lines. Lance McCullers Jr., he got his 4th win of the day, 6 innings of work, 2 hits, 2 runs, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. He was fantastic. He had a great day. Lance McCullers just keeps on trucking, baby. He now has a sub-3 ERA, 2.9, maybe a fringe all-star, maybe. I don't know, maybe. I mean, obviously, I'd like to see Lance McCullers make another all-star team, but I mean, probably a little bit of bias there. Blake Taylor came in, and guess what? Blake Taylor, who's been shaky all year, has 2 great innings in relief. 2 innings of work, no hits, no runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Because why not? And then Garza Jr., not great. 1 inning of work, loaded the bases, but he got the outs when he needed to, and the Astros win. I think this is now like 10 or 11 innings straight from Astros relievers without a run given up, which I don't know what happened. It's like they flicked the switch with the Padres series and said, all right, time to start taking it seriously. They won again. They won 7 straight. And now with the A's loss today, thank you, Yankees. We now have the division lead. We've taken it. We have it back. Now, granted, they did it. They got it back. That's all you can ask for. That's all you can hope for. They got the division lead back, and they are basically a game away from leading the American League. They are 43-28. The Red Sox lead the American League, the number 1 team at 43-28. I don't know why we're, 3rd and not leading the American League, but I don't even care at this point. We're fine. We're good. If we win tomorrow and the Red Sox and White Sox both lose, we're the number 1 team in the AL. They just keep rolling. The vibes from this team just being... It feels like 2017 again. It feels like 2018 again. It feels like 2019 again. It doesn't feel like last year where after games you felt like you wanted to kill yourself even during the wins. Offensively, Altuve had a hit and RBI and a run today. He also walked. McCormick had a pair of hits because, apparently we just have crazy depth. McCormick continues to be pretty decent. Brantley had a pair of hits today and an RBI. Correa had the home run with a pair of hits and 2 runs scored. Alvarez had a hit and 2 RBIs because why not? Abraham Toro was 4 for 5, which is For a minute there, I thought Abraham Toro was going to get his first 5-hit game before Altuve, which would have been kind of sad, but also a little bit funny. Taylor Jones went 2 for 5 because why not? I'm just happy. I'm just happy. This team is just so exciting. And from the first 3 weeks, I thought it was going to be another season like last year where we barely squeak into the playoffs. And right now, the Astros just seemingly have it on lock. They have a 3-game lead over the closest team for a wild card spot. Even if the A's retake the lead, they still have a 3-game lead over the Indians. So we have wiggle room right now. And again, we have a 3-game lead, and it's not even the end of June yet. It's not the All-Star break. Like, it's fantastic. And now we have a chance to go beat up on another opponent because we have a 3-game series against the Baltimore Orioles, which means we have a chance because their day 1 and day 2 starters of the series have respectfully a 5.76 ERA for the first game. We'll have Jake Odorizzi, and the second game, probably Zach Greinke going up against a guy with a 5.95 ERA, which, I mean, I don't want to say we're going to win 10 straight, but we could win 10 straight. We could sweep the Orioles. We could sweep 3 straight teams. Right? It's possible. Granted, it's road games, right? So we are playing in their home stadium. That being said, it's the Orioles, who are just a few weeks into the season already 19 and a half games behind in their division at a record of 23-48. I thought the Baltimore Orioles were actually going to turn somewhat of a corner this year and be decent. I was wrong. I don't know what the Baltimore Orioles are doing, but I didn't think... I thought we would be good, right? At the start of the year, I thought we were going to be a good team. And then the second week, the third week happened, and I'm like, oh, we're not going to be a good team. We're going to be mediocre. And now I'm back to thinking, we have a shot. The way the Astros are playing right now, the way they've played over the past couple weeks, right? 16 for their last 20, 8 of their last 10. They've won 7 in a row. This team has no reason, when you look at them right now on paper and how they're actually playing, because we swept the series without Bregman. We swept the series without Tucker. Tucker might be back tomorrow, by the way. We look like a team that is going to go out there and compete for another pennant. And there's no reason we won't. It's incredible. Man, I'm just pumped about this team. And I could probably talk and gush about them for another hour, but I'm going to cut it now. I'm going to end it because I would actually like to go spend time with, this thing called my family for Father's Day, because that's usually what people do. So, on that note, thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. And as always, go Astros.